Hi there, my name is Parker Beal, and this is The Last Few Years, a web series about women's fashion from the past century and how gender roles, current events, and societal expectations play into the way that women present themselves to the world. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the 1950s. This was a period where women's fashion really started to expand. New colors, new fabrics, and new patterns were all widely available. Fashion was very much influenced by the post-war era of the 40s, where everyone was so happy to be comfortable again in their own homes. Also, couture fashion returned with the rise of brands like Dior. 1950s fashion was glamorous, well-groomed, and put together. This was the time of bouncing back from the war. People were financially stable again. Husbands went back to the workplace, and people generally had a lot more freedom in the choices of dress they had. In this decade, you also see a specific type of teen style start to appear, which is what I'll be recreating today. Teen fashion got so big because teenagers started having a disposable income. They became a new consumer base. Makeup and skincare also started being more marketed to teenagers. Products were specifically marketed to tackle teenage problems like acne. Another new product were teenage magazines. The articles were mostly about fashion, home life, advice, looks, and popularity. Teen fashion had two versions, school and weekend. The most popular combination for school was skirts and a simple sweater. The skirt came to about mid-calf and rose higher towards the end of the decade, but never surpassed the knee. Skirts were either worn straight or with a crinoline underneath. The style that you wore usually alternated every few days. While skirts could be worn alone, they could also be paired with a wide cinched belt to get an hourglass shape. White blouses were incredibly popular because they could really be matched with anything. The most popular collar for these blouses was the rounded Peter Pan collar. Short and long sleeve sweaters were worn on top of blouses or by themselves. The sweaters were either pullover style or cardigan style. Another popular sweater was the varsity sweater. A girl who wore her boyfriend's letter sweater was in a serious relationship. Cheerleaders also wore a pullover sweater with a large high school letter on the front. Simple dresses were also worn during the school day. Popular shoes included penny loafers, saddle shoes, and ballet flats. The most popular jewelry for teens were poppets, which were a type of beaded necklace, and pearl necklaces. During the weekend, some girls would wear pants that were usually high-waisted and ankle-length. Dark blue denim was incredibly popular, paired with sleeveless blouses or turtlenecks. In my outfit, I'm wearing the skirt and sweater combo. My skirt comes down to mid-calf and I have a crinoline under it. I have a black cardigan with cute pearl buttons and a pearl necklace to match. I have a blouse with a Peter Pan collar underneath the sweater, and I'm also wearing stockings with bobby socks and a pair of ballet flats. This is a perfect school outfit because it's neat, tidy, modest, and feminine. My makeup is also really simple because even though it was becoming more socially acceptable for teenagers to wear makeup, they still really just stuck with lipstick. My eyebrows are drawn in their natural shape, and I have a small amount of black eyeliner on my top lid. I also have a small amount of mascara on both the top and bottom lashes. I have a light layer of rouge on the apples of my cheeks, and I'm wearing a pinky nude lip color. The 1950s was a return to tradition. Because men were coming back from the war, women were pushed back home. American society was once again geared towards the family. The nuclear family trope becomes the main goal. Women's biggest aspirations were supposed to be to get married and have kids. Most women were married at age 19 with a baby coming right afterwards. Large families were incredibly popular, and the marriage and birth rates were at an all-time high. Women were encouraged to get married either right out of high school or while still in college. A stereotype perpetuated by the media was that women would just go to college to find a husband. But that also means that with more women in college, more women were getting college degrees, and so more women went to the workplace. The rate of female employment began to rise again, even though it was heavily looked down upon. Those who could afford to, however, became happy homemakers. Women were meant to stay home and take care of their children and husbands. Women who worked that could afford not to were seen as selfish for putting their own needs first. The tides were starting to change, though. women were ready and waiting for a new form of birth control. The semblance of waves of change began to form. Thank you so much for watching this episode of The Last Few Years. As always, if you'd like to see more of me, hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. And then also, don't forget to turn on post notifications so you can see every time I post a new video. In the next video, we'll talk about the 1960s and the second wave of feminism. See you next time!